The security alarm wasn't supposed to beep at 2:14 a.m., not inside the penthouse of billionaire industrialist Alexander Vance, the man who trusted no one, feared nothing, and guarded everything. But that night, he sat alone in the dark of his home office, illuminated only by the soft green glow of the open safe behind him. Open on purpose. Inside the safe sat files, gold bars, and an envelope thick with cash, all placed neatly, almost invitingly, as if laid out for someone. Alexander stared at the safe door, the hinge glinting under the dim lamp. He checked his watch. 2 more minutes, he muttered. He wasn't waiting for a thief. He wasn't waiting for an enemy. He was waiting for a single dad he himself had lured into this trap. A man named Ethan Holt. Ethan wasn't a criminal. He was a widowed father working 2 jobs, sleeping 3 hours a night and still coming up short on rent. His daughter, Rosie, needed medication, tutoring, and stability, 3 things he simply couldn't afford. He'd taken a temporary job as a nighttime cleaner in the Vance Tower. Good pay, good hours, but too many cameras, too many guards, too many rules. Still, Ethan was responsible, quiet, respectful. That's why the billionaire had noticed him. That's why Alexander Vance decided to test him and set the trap. He wanted to prove a theory he believed about poor men. Everyone has a price. Ethan Holtz's price, he thought, would be the cash inside the safe. As the elevator hummed up the silent building, Ethan had no idea he was walking into anything unusual. He was dragging a laundry cart full of rags, cleaner bottles, and old mop heads. He stepped out into the 55th floor hallway and tapped his badge against the scanner. The penthouse door clicked open. Inside, it was dark except for a strange glow, soft, flickering, pointing toward the office. "That's weird," Ethan whispered. He thought maybe the billionaire had left a light on, or someone else was here working late. He moved toward the office slowly, quietly, careful not to disturb anything. When he reached the doorway, he froze. Behind the massive oak desk, Alexander Vance sat with his back turned, not moving, not speaking, just waiting. But Ethan's eyes shifted to the left, toward the wide-open safe. His breath caught in his throat. Stacks of money, gold bars, confidential documents, all exposed, all within reach. His heart raced. He looked around. No guards. No cameras. No witnesses. Just him. The only thing between his daughter's sleepless, painful nights and the treatment she needed was 10 steps away. But it wasn't only temptation he felt, it was fear. What if it was a mistake? What if touching anything got him fired? What if he ended up in prison and his daughter ended up in the system? He swallowed, forcing his legs to move. "Mr. Vance," Ethan asked quietly, "Sir, I think your safe is open." Alexander didn't respond. Ethan hesitated. "Do you want me to call security?" Still silence. Something was wrong. Ethan took 2 careful steps into the office, then another, until he stood directly behind the billionaire's chair. "Sir, are you all right?" Finally, Alexander turned slowly. His expression was unreadable. "I left it open," he said. Ethan blinked in confusion. "Sir, I don't understand." Alexander leaned back in the chair, crossing his arms. "It's very simple, Ethan. I left the safe open because I wanted to see what you would do." Ethan frowned. "What I would do?" "Yes," Alexander replied. "You've been struggling, your daughter is sick, your rent is past due, I know everything." Ethan's face burned with shame. "Sir, that's personal." "Not to a man who signs your checks," Alexander interrupted coldly. "People like you break when you're desperate enough." Ethan clenched his jaw. "I'm not a thief." "We'll see," Alexander said sharply. "Go ahead." He gestured toward the safe. "Take what you need." Ethan stared at him, horrified. "I don't need your money like that." "No," Alexander smirked. "Then look inside, I'm giving you a choice." Ethan didn't move. Alexander leaned forward. Your little girl's medical bills are killing you. You think I don't see how you come into work exhausted, how you fall asleep standing up, how you cry in the storage room when you think no one is watching. Ethan's breath caught. You saw that. I see everything, Alexander said smugly. So I want to know, will a desperate single father steal from a billionaire if the opportunity is easy enough? Ethan stared at him in disbelief. Why would you? Because I believe every man has a breaking point, Alexander interrupted. And you, Ethan Holt, are standing at yours. Ethan felt heat rise in his chest. Anger, shame, hurt. He stepped toward the safe. Alexander's smirk deepened. There, that's it, go on. Ethan reached inside. But instead of taking the money, he grabbed something else, the safe door. With a firm, deliberate motion, he swung it shut. Clunk. Luck. Silence. Alexander's eyes widened. Ethan turned to him, his voice steady. You're wrong. Alexander frowned. Wrong. A man breaks, Ethan said, not when he's tempted, but when he loses himself. He stepped closer, anger rising but controlled. I'm struggling, yes. I'm scared every day. I'm exhausted. But everything I do, every job I take, every hour I work, is to teach my daughter one thing. And what's that? Alexander muttered. That her father never became the monster life tried to make him. Alexander blinked. Ethan continued, quieter now. If you wanted to help me, you could have. Instead, you wanted to humiliate me, trap me, prove something ugly. Alexander opened his mouth, but no words came out. Ethan grabbed his cleaning cart. Good night, Mr. Vance. He started toward the door. Stop, Alexander whispered. Ethan froze. The billionaire stood slowly, his expression shaken, almost humbled. No one ever turned away from that safe before, Alexander said quietly. Not family, not business partners, not trusted employees. Everyone takes something. Everyone. Ethan didn't turn around. I'm not everyone. Alexander approached him cautiously, like a man approaching a truth he wasn't prepared for. You shut the door, he murmured. You protected what wasn't yours. I protected my dignity, Ethan said, and my daughter's future. Alexander swallowed hard. I misjudged you. Yes, Ethan said simply. The billionaire looked at him for a long moment. Then something inside the man cracked, something cold, something arrogant. What do you need? Alexander whispered. Tell me. I don't need charity, Ethan said. It's not charity, Alexander insisted. It's respect. Ethan slowly turned to face him. Alexander continued, voice trembling with sincerity he wasn't used to expressing. Let me help your daughter, not because you failed, but because you refused to. Ethan's breath caught. I'll pay for her treatments, Alexander said. All of them. I'll give you a permanent position, a higher salary, health insurance, and if you'll accept it, a chance to work beside me, not beneath me. Ethan stared at him, stunned. You're offering me a job. I'm offering you a partnership, Alexander said. A man who won't steal when he's drowning is a man I want at my side. Ethan felt his knees weaken. For the first time in a long time, he felt the weight on his chest lift. He extended a trembling hand. Alexander took it firmly. No trap, no test, no humiliation. Just two men, one who learned he was wrong and one who walked out with his integrity intact. Ethan whispered, "Thank you." Alexander shook his head, "No, thank you." And from that night on, the billionaire's open safe was no longer a trap. It was the moment he discovered the one man in the world who couldn't be bought. And the moment a struggling single dad finally found someone who believed in him.